We've done it. Day 5, 3 o'clock start. Zip colour for sunrise. I've been sat in the car for half an hour thinking, oh, it's really not worth getting out of bed for. The humidity is through the roof. So I was expecting slightly more mist on the horizon. Can't even get that. Ay, ay, ay. Southwold Pier. Apparently it's an iconic location. So I had to come and see. So we are, I don't know, 40 minutes off sunrise. And so sunrise is 4:38. High tide is 5:53, I think. So quite a way to go. And the tide's in a respectable distance already. I planned this week to hit all my locations at sunrise with high tide. Obviously, the further through the week we've gone, it's just falling out of step slightly. So this is really the last location, which is just as well because I couldn't cope with the 3 o'clock start. 5 on the bounce is enough for anybody. I have the weekend off and stay in bed, I think. I came down last night to have a scout around because I wasn't sure what to expect. There's obvious compositions, and that's all I'm going to be doing today. So you've got one this side of the rocks with the rocks leading out to the end of the pier. You've got one the other side of the rocks with just the pier or with these rocks in. Then if you go the other side of the pier, there are groins leading down into the water. So you can shoot the pier on its own, you can shoot the groins leading out to the pier, or you can shoot the groins on their own. You can stand underneath the pier and shoot down. It's quite a nice square, it's like a window looking out onto the sea. There are rows and rows of beach huts. Now if tide would come all the way up and they didn't have that raining there, it'd be really nice. So I'm going to put my sand feet on. I've got my bag well out of the way because it's a 2.12 metre tide, but I have no concept of where that comes to. This could be as high as it gets, although it's doubtful because we're an hour away. Or it could go right up to the sea wall. I don't know. We're going to find out fairly quickly. I'm still concentrating on short, long exposures. I'm using aperture to control shutter speed, in a way. I haven't got any filters on at all. I'm shooting at f13 and that's allowing me a 1 second exposure. So as the waves come in and swirl around here, I can capture that. It's just a case of guessing how far up the shore the waves are going to come. Because we've got some beautiful golden sand and it's on a proper slope, but there's very few stones to give you that dragging, and I must have fired off about 30 shots now because you really do need good timing. It's gradually getting higher and higher. In danger of getting my feet wet, but hey ho. So yeah, all I'm doing basically is shooting what you can see there. The rocks leading out to the pier and with the groiny, not the groiny, the marker buoy. 1 second is giving me just the right amount of drag when I time the wave coming in correctly. And I think I have to time it as it comes in, and that's not coming far enough up the beach. Hours of endless fun on a Friday morning. That looks like it might do the trick. Yeah, so if we trigger that then, myself in a very strange situation. I cannot, for love nor money, find a composition that I'm happy with, which is bizarre. I've looked online, I've looked at compositions that have been done, I've tried those, and I'm still not happy with the end results. I have tried close-ups on these rocks. I've tried the 17-55 lens, I'm now back to the 10-20 lens. I still haven't put any filters on other than the polarizer. I am shooting at currently f16.5 a second. trying to get some motion in the water, trying to stay away from totally silky smooth. And I just can't get it to work this morning. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if it's the conditions that are subconsciously having an effect on me, because it is more miserable than a miserable thing out here this morning, or whether I'm burnt out because I've now been doing this 5 days on the bounce, which is always possible. Maybe if this morning had been an amazing sunrise, I wouldn't be struggling so much. It's weird. I was steering away from the pier because I thought that was what the problem was. Look at something that is more suited to minimal than the huge, great structure that actually deserves better than a minimal image. But that hasn't worked either. I don't know, what's the girl to do? But I'm going to try one more shot here, and then I'm going to go over to the other side where there's some groins. Now, if I can't get groins to work, I'm packing up and going home. I've decided just to ignore the pier, because that's not working for me at all. I'm just concentrating on these little groins. I've decided that today isn't going to be an image day, it's just going to be a breathe in the sea air and relax a bit, because today is the day I go back to reality. But I have decided to do a little test, because I've had a couple of people say to me, does it really make a difference what you set your white balance to? Yes, I know I'm walking about, sorry. When you're shooting long exposures. Because people hear me saying I set my white balance at 10,000 kelvins when I'm using the 10 stop. This is specific to the Lee. I can't speak for other 10 stop filters. So I'm running an exposure with the 10 stop. I've set the ISO to 200 or we'll be here for a fortnight. And I've set the kelvins on this image to 200. And I've just been waffling and wandering around, taking much notice. Right, so I've got a time of 236.7 seconds and a very blue image, which actually I don't mind. And now I'm going to run the same image. I'm just going to move the kelvins up to 10,000, 236. The other thing I find, if you're, and now this may just be me, if my white balance is set to as close to daylight as I can get it, and with the 10 stop that means 10,000 kelvins, my exposure time can be shorter. I don't know why, I don't understand it, but that's what I found. So I'm now running exactly the same exposure, but with the white balance at 10,000 kelvins. Now it's 6 and 2/3. You can do what I do, which is set your kelvins out in the field, or you can do it in post. I don't want to do it in post. I prefer, if at all possible, to do it when I'm out in the field. Partly because if I want an image to stay colour, I want to make sure the white balance is right when I'm shooting it. It helps me to see the image better. If I'm going to mono it, I'm not so concerned, but I'd like to start off with the correct white balance. So I'll pop that image up for you next, and then you can see the difference. To get my mojo back and stop me being a grumpy mare, I'm back to shooting my marker posts. 6 stop on, polarizer. I'm using the polarizer and never noticed it until this week to help lose the horizon. It works really well. Every day's a school day. I've got a 0.6 grad on and I've got the 6 stop. I decided against the 10 stop because we'd have been here for a fortnight. So I'm going for negative space on this one, but the negative space I'm putting at the bottom of the image. So the marker is the top third. Yeah, quite like that, I think. It's a pity it's such a murky day, because with a bit of light on it, the red on that marker would pop out beautifully. Yes, some people spot trains, some people spot coaches. I spot markers on beaches. Oh, it's the little things. For a fleeting minute, I thought I saw some light and some really nice clouds. It was only a fleeting minute. So I've come just slightly further up the road to Gun Hill Beach. I didn't know what I was going to find. I got in mind to shoot the little beach huts. These beach huts are gorgeous, but there's no water around them. Just in the background, see the bright blue one. They've got dunes behind them. Oh, that'd be nice. Dunes with lots of, is it called marram grass? I think it's something like that. But you need light. You do need light. So just to finish off, I'm taking a wander along the beach. It's ever so nice here. I think I prefer this to Southwold. But perhaps my view is tainted because of the lack of light. The sand is beautifully golden. And it's actually very clean. Oh, it's still very difficult to walk on. The tide is definitely well on its way out. Yeah, I can see this being much more of a family beach. Loads of beach huts. What a great idea. You come down for the day, got somewhere to park all your stuff, but I would imagine there's a mass rush to rent one. I don't know if these are privately owned, but there's some down the bottom end that you can rent daily or weekly. Oh, I like that one. It's got a bit of character. Yes, marker post of the UK beaches continues. I'm going to come down, see how low down we can get on this one. All right, let me put you down while I find somewhere to park my bag and get set up. We're getting some beautiful light just over here. I think that is actually a storm or rain heading in. Just make out the darker and the lighter patches. Now I'm shooting into the light, which is not my preferred option, but it's the only way that I can get the angle of this. And I'm shooting down low. Whee! And I'm about to get very wet. Oh, it is the most peculiar feeling when the sand disappears from under your feet. I'm shooting at f10, I believe. I've got 30 seconds on the clock. And with the 10 stop, that should give me some quite nice, smooth water. Again, I'm having to be quite precise with my composition because I didn't want this post breaking the horizon line. So it's been kind of up and down a little bit. Now I am going to pop the 6 stop on just to see if I can pick up a bit of movement in the water. But yeah, F10, 25 seconds is looking, for me, pretty good. There's a little bit of movement even then. I'll just run that through, for 30 seconds. Let's do 30 seconds and F9. Right, I'm going to get the 6 stop, pop that on, see if we can get a little bit more movement in the water. So the 6 stop on, I've upped the ISO to 200. I've just filled a memory card. I have gone to F11, a third of a second, no, 1.3 seconds, and that's giving me a nice little bit of dragging motion in the water down here. And a bit of detail in the cloud. Well, I'm quite pleased with that. I think when it says memory card full, it's about time to go home. Catch you next week.